And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Matlick. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Saying a special good night to each and every one of you. Hope that you've had a fabulous weekend and a wonderful week last week. We do apologize, but we did have various complications that were unavoidable. Therefore, we are unable to have a program past last week, Monday. Yeah. We are hoping that those issues do not reoccur this week, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. And we are live on YouTube, on Facebook. We are not live via 91.9 or via We Noise Radio tonight. This time, not due to internet issues at Studio 2, but actually due to issues at Studio 1 where we do the restream here. We're having problems at Studio 1. When we've got the internet sorted out here, it seems as though the internet there has decided that it wants to give some issues. So we say a special good night to each and every one of you. We've got a lot to get into and not a lot of time to get into it. I want to say a lot, I mean a lot. Let me say a special good night to all of you joining us via the Facebook. Yeah, I see you all coming on 1-1. I see you all coming on the Facebook. Let me see who's there. Ingrid Bourne, Wendy Ann McGuire, Nurse, good night to you. Yvonne Roberts, good night. Kamita, good night to you, my dear. Errol Bonaparte. Williams Jakim, good night to you, bro. Merrill George, Merrill. Islan Musk, good night to you. John Mark, Wallan Aquat, Esther Peters, I see. Let me see, Cleaver Williams, McLean Mitchell, Betty James, Olive McEwen, Shirley Lacrette, Revin Cox, good night, bro, Parang. Landon Jane, Teresa Colimore, Charmaine Ragbasing, Cynthia B, Yvonne Courtney, Agatha Debole, Winnie Simon, Rebecca Stafford, and Salandi. Good night to each and every one of you on the Facebook. And those of you just joining us here, remember to hit the like and share button on the Facebook. And again, we do apologize for last week, but you know it goes sometimes, yeah. We're actually working with several challenges. Some people know exactly what it is, but we're working with several challenges right now. Yeah. It's not as easy as it looks. Agnes Henry, good night to you. Clive Raymond, Debbie Seals, Lishra Abraham, Lona Lolo Williams, Kathleen Ledlow, Alban Harris, good night. Gillian Noel, Phyllis Mitchell, Errol Bonaparte, Francis George, Deborah Laborde, Ruth Chitterman, Adrian Watts and family, good night to you. Good night, Mrs. Watts. Anne-Marie Grant, Sandra Pascal, Caitlin Halley Douglas, Agatha Baptiste, Abby Wells, Maud Martin, Baby Daddy, good night to you. And Andra Burke, Elsie Peters, Janice Mitchell, Carib Spice Fitness, good night. Michelle Alexander, good night. Roslyn Jones, Dalma Scott, Jenny Samuel, Anastasia Buckmeyer. I see Rodney Barry, Jack Kipman, good night, bro. Gavin Thomas, good night. Hillary Joseph, Jermaine Lewis, Cindy Thomas, Anna Lois, Bernadette Joseph, Norma Felix, Cicely Celestine. I see Jackie Raymond, Marilyn Ferguson, Red Girl Pascal, Velma Pascal, Byron Frank, Ron Julian. Yeah, Raphael Williams, Shum Alexander, Dolores Redhead, Moko Joseph, and Moko Pen. Tyrone Marcel, Gloria Francois, John Stafford, Denot Amada, hey, Fadlo, Hossein Fada, Denot, good night. And Kathy Albert, Kathy, I got your message. Patsy Frank, Deborah Flanders, Joyce, good night to you, Joyce Lewis. Rick English, Dalton Sean, and Andrews Ripper, Joseph Vaughn, Wellington, Kathleen Knights. So a special good night to each and every one of you. So, folks, we've got quite a lot to speak about. In fact, let me just make sure the phone line is up and running there. Yeah, I had the phone line down. Let me make sure that I put up the phone line right now. So, in case you all want to call, remember the number 1473-440-7377, but you can only call us on the WhatsApp. Yes, indeed. Excuse me. Yeah, so, folks, quite a lot has happened between our last program and now. We know that last week, Monday, we had general elections, two general elections, one in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, where the incumbent People's National Movement was defeated by the opposition party. Yes, that is the United National Congress. Basically, the ladies running in Trinidad right now because it is a situation where they've got a female president, they've got a female prime minister, and they've got a female leader of the opposition. So the ladies run things in Trinidad. And it is the first time that the People's National Movement has had a female leader, and the first time that they've had a female leader of the opposition in the PNM. You've had female leader of the opposition in the UNC before, People's Partnership, but the first time that you've had a female prime minister, female opposition leader for the PNM as a political organization. Yeah, so quite an interesting situation down there, huh? Yes, folks, so as I said, the phone lines are open. You can give us a call. Quite interesting, you know, there's several things. We're going to get back to what happened in Trinidad. And as I did mention, two elections, because you had a general election that took place in Canada, and the ruling party were able to maintain their position as the ruling party. You've just had an election in Australia. Yeah, where the Liberal Party get a total blowout. Man, it was bad. Yeah. So several elections taking place, but they say when your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. So right now we have a situation where right here in Grenada, we could be facing an election at any time. We don't know when, which means that you and me, all of us, need to mind we business. Yes, it's good to take a look at peek over the fence every now and again, but we have to mind we business, right? Nice, beautiful. Good night to you, Vanessa Lalji, Jerome Jefferson, and Salam. Good night to all of you. Hey, Rick English, I didn't see you there earlier, man. Good night to you, bro. I will come back to some of the things out of Trinidad, because since that general election you had on Sunday, you had, no, it wasn't Sunday, on Thursday, you had the swearing in of the new cabinet in Trinidad and Tobago, and some interesting comments were made. We're going to get to that in a while. Yes, we're going to review that, and we're going to get into that in a little while. Also, several other things happening. There's one that's taking place in Petit Martinique right now. There's a situation there. There are also several other situations that in fact, I was hearing of one, and I'm trying to get confirmation in relation to this one, but what I've picked up thus far were that some revolutionary period, I'm hearing from one side arms and ammunition, the other side are hearing just ordnance, all sorts of things. But bottom line, weaponry from the revolution was found in the St. Paul's area. I have heard that, and I'm just trying to get full confirmation in relation to it. I heard it's somewhere in the area, the Carlton House area, that some sort of excavation or cleaning up or whatever was taking place. And some stuff left over from the revolution were found in that particular area. I don't know if the news tonight mentioned anything about that, but I was picking up that there was quite a police presence there one day during the week last week, and it was said that they had found certain items in that particular area. So we are waiting to hear from the Royal Grenada Police Force, either confirmation or denial or whatever. Yeah, we're waiting to hear from them what they have to say about that one. Also, there was a situation last night where we saw, I saw some live video that was coming out from the, out in the water in the Perseverance area, where there seemed to have been a confrontation between the Coast Guard and several vessels. I do not have details in relation to it. It seems as though shots were fired and that sort of thing. So again, wait on the Royal Grenada Police Force to release some information regarding that. And I know we all know of the unfortunate situation that occurred last week as well. Yeah, we've been off air that long. Well, it seems as long, just a few days, and all these things happen in that space of time. The situation last week where there was an individual that was shot and apparently, well, not apparently, he was shot and died as a result of his wounds. There were several other people who were shot in a confrontation that took place in St. Mark. And I say it this way because, number one, I was not there. I did not see what took place. I'm only hearing from second-hand information and various people. And therefore, I'm not going to go past that. It is a police matter. In fact, the police is now a court matter because the police have done their part in relation to it. It is now in the hands of the court. I see various people, for some reason, rejoicing. And I'd like to say to people, be very careful when you're rejoicing at the downfall of another person. Be very careful, because you just might be creating judgment on your own self. So be very careful when you're rejoicing on the apparent downfall of another person, because you may very well be creating your own judgment on yourself. And we send our condolences to all the families involved, both sides. Yeah, the accused and the bereaved. We send our condolences on behalf of the Talking Points family to all of them. It is not our job here at Talking Points to judge and say, this is what happened and that is what happened. We see a lot of people like CSI these days, all sorts of things all over. And again, it continues. I spoke about it just last week on Monday's program. I spoke about it the week before. There seems to be this, and I call it the hyena mentality. It's like everybody's trying to get a bite. As soon as somebody falls or something happens to somebody, it's all these people who don't know the individuals, don't know anything about any of the individuals involved, but they come out and they try to get their bite. And it's that sort of hyena mentality. Let me attack them. Let me say something. And then they try to connect a sad event to something that happened before. It's just totally disgusting. What is happening. And then on top of that, you have the sets of people who are using these kind of things for want of a better term, what is saying now, cloud and flame? Yeah, using these things to boost their popularity. I mean, come on, man. These are sad situations. Our family is in mourning. You have people that have had to spend time at the hospital. You have another family who their loved one is not deceased, but they're in big, big trouble. And they're also sad at this point in time. So you have to understand, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. Let me repeat. We all make mistakes. Let he who dwells among us without sin cast the first stone. We all make mistakes. And I'm not saying that what happened was good. I'm not saying anything like that. I am saying that we need to be more, how shall I put it, guarded. And we need to be careful in how some of us come out and attack people and say different things about people, and how some of us rejoice at the downfall of people. It's a sad situation. I still consider it to be a leftover from slavery in the minds of some of us, that if Massa was beating that slave, it means he ain't beating us. So we like to see another slave getting licks. Yeah, I see it as that. I still see it as a holdover in the architecture of slavery within the minds of us as Caribbean people, that we love to see another black man fall. We love to see it. Yeah? So that's very, very sad, you know? Yeah, somebody's telling me in Bishop area that yes, from what I'm hearing, the find was by some individuals who were doing some digging in the area of close to Maurice Bishop's deceased mother's home, where the Carlton House is, somewhere in that area there, and they found some items, I'll just put it as items, that had to be removed by the Royal Grenada Police Force. They found some items in that particular area. That is as much as I know. I'm going to leave it up to the police to see what I say tonight is wrong or what I say tonight is right. But I find we as Grenadians have a right to know if these kind of things are happening. Up to this point in time, folks, we still have absolutely not a single, and you see, we say we have media in Grenada. If it's to call my name and say something negative about me, it is going to be the #1 story on GBN News. MTV News, no. But you see, GBN News, let Sheldon Scott say something out of the way, or let Sheldon Scott be accused of something. It is going to be #1 story on the Grenada Broadcasting Network. I guarantee you. But we have a submarine full of cocaine sitting in Grenadian waters. Yeah, sitting in Grenadian waters. A submarine full of cocaine out of Colombia, sitting in Grenadian waters over a month now. And not one of those quote-unquote media people have had the gumption to ask the sitting administration a single question about it. The submarine was boarded by the Trinidad Coast Guard. A Trinidadian Coast Guard officer lost his life. His remains, most likely what remains of his remains, are still in that submarine in Grenadian waters, to the point in time where his family is about to take the Trinidad and Tobago government to court because they're saying not enough is being done to retrieve his body. They found the submarine. They know where it is. It is in Grenadian waters. They know where it is, but yet still no move is being made to bring it up. So they are at wit's end because, I mean, you lose your loved one, you at least want something to bury. And his body most likely was within the submarine because it sank with him on the inside. When he went to see if there was anybody else in there, another Coast Guard officer was able to jump off. And we're speaking of the Trinidad Coast Guard here, not the Grenadian Coast Guard. Yet still you hear nothing about that. There's not a single newspaper article anywhere in Grenada in relation to the fact that there's a submarine full of cocaine sit down in Grenadian waters. None. No story on any of the news networks and so. But attack me, attack Dr. Mitchell, attack anybody within the NNP, say something bad or negative about us, they jump on that. But they wouldn't ask the Minister of National Security about a submarine full of cocaine in your Grenadian waters. They wouldn't ask them about that. Yeah? They wouldn't find the time to pick up the phone and call the press secretary and ask her about that situation. No, ask them about, yeah, that's what we'll find time to do. Yeah? So I'll leave it up to the media. I don't know if they are aware of the situation in the parade area. From what one thing I hear in is some po-po. Next thing I hear is some kaboom. I hear all kind of thing, but I think that is what was found in that vicinity, basically, and the police had to go and remove what they had to remove. And so, yeah, so hopefully we'll get some more information in relation to that. Sky, good night to you, my dear. Yeah, also, and I was going to speak about this one last week. I would like, and let me just see if I have you all here. I would like someone who is living in Subiz or Marquis to give me a call and let me know if there has been any situation where, if there has been any situation, my friends, where the seaweed in your area has been collected since the 1st of March. And I know why I'm asking that particular question. I'm asking that particular question based on some information that was provided in relation to that. Yeah. Yeah. My friend, yeah, is there. Yeah. So there was, and I'm looking for it here. Nice. So I was listening over the town hall meeting that took place in St. John, and I heard a pronouncement being made. So I just want to find out from those of you, yeah, I just want to find out from those of you who are living in those areas, if the following that I'm about to play, if there's any truth in relation to this. So let me see. Yeah, let me get it here. So let me play this.
Area as well that we have been vigorously targeting both at interim and long-term planning is the sargassum management. Grenada continues to lead regional efforts and international efforts as well in addressing the environmental and economic challenges posed by sargassum influxes. So in response to the influx,
Oh boy, I'm sorry. Let me just get it back up.
as well that we have been vigorously targeting both at interim and long-term planning is the sargassum management. Grenada continues to lead regional efforts and international efforts as well in addressing the environmental and economic challenges posed by sargassum influxes. So in response to the influx, ladies and gentlemen, we've been experiencing that over, and it's a seasonal thing. So over the Easter holidays, you might have seen videos, you might have seen images as well, showing that, the influx started on the eastern side, and now it is in a large volume on the southern zone. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen it, and maybe some of you might have seen it as well too on your way here on the west side, Palmis, don't talk for the Lands Bay. So as an immediate relief, ladies and gentlemen, we have had implemented our 2025 operational response plan. This is the local plan now, where we have hired 32 temporary workers and we have deployed the Coast Guard's assets to manage the seaweed collection in the Maki and Sobeys area as of March 1st, 2025. Priority has been given so far on that side to residential areas. The materials collected are taken to Telescope. In collaboration with the GTA, we are responding to the influx of sargassum on the west coast. And so we have the Yahama boats at the Coast Guard base, and we are mobilizing, and we intend to launch and deploy the floating fence that we have and to collect the sargassum in water using trawl nets. The materials will be landed at the Grand Mall jetty, and it will be taken to Perseverance landfill. Priority is given to the commercial areas as well. The trawl nets will be used to collect sargassum in water on the west coast from tomorrow, and we are going to be landing at the Guave jetty. and it will be taken to Perseverance. The boats will be returned to the Coast Guard base at the end of each working day as a matter of security. So in the interim, we are dealing with it at the local level. Obviously, you cannot really, there's no means of predicting it really where it would go, because the tidal, the wave and all kind of thing, we just can't predict where you're gonna go. But we are trying our utmost to deal with it. So minus the noise and just focus on there is interim steps that we are taking, and these are the few steps that we are taking thus far. At a more long-term and economically viable industry, and with
Okay, so let me just ask the question though. Any of the things that she said thus far, are you all actually seeing that happening in the communities? Are you all seeing the nets being deployed and picking up all of the sargassum and bringing it into the St. John area? Are you seeing specialized boats going out and doing the collection and bringing it in, and all of this taking place? Because we remember these were the people that before they came into office were telling us that they had a plan how to deal with this thing. Yeah, Valeria, Valeria.
European Union, our task force that has been formed, has committed to valorizing sargassum. And for those of us who don't really know what valorizing means, it simply means adding a value to what was deemed or what is deemed as a nuisance. So we're adding a value to sargassum. So 10,000 tons of sargassum have been pledged and supported that we're going to collect 10,000 tons by 2026, creating sustainable economic opportunities and safeguarding our coastal ecosystems. Grenada, ladies and gentlemen, proudly hosted the second Caribbean EU Regional Global Gateway Conference on sargassum last October, positioning us at the forefront of innovative regional strategies and international partnerships. Following this, key outcomes included, but is not limited to, commitment to process the 10,000 tons of sargassum by 2026, a pledge made and supported by our Prime Minister, the launch of an expression of interest, or EOI, inviting private sector proposals for the valorization.
So I'm just asking, I would like the people who are affected by the seaweed in the various areas to let us know, because I think I heard a saying in March actually that some of these things started where they were collecting, and so we know we saw, and we did see the MP for, not the MP, my goodness, yeah, but the person who believed they are the MP for St. Andrew Southeast, that he was out there and he was talking about the solid waste coming to collect and all kind of. So it seemed to have different stories in relation to the seaweed and what is taking place. And so again, I'd just like to find out from those of you who, who are in that area, if it is true. Yeah. Let me ask you all, yeah. Is it true? Is it a situation where they have the boats going out because nothing so? Okay, right, all right, okay. Right. No, so Grand Mall, is it being landed in Grand Mall? Yeah, so Marquee, not in Marquee, no. And but we hear the minister was saying that since March, the minister is saying that since March they started that process where they're moving the seaweed out and that sort of thing. So I really want to know if that is at all taking place. Yeah, I want to know if it is taking place. Let me know if it is taking place at all. And speaking about adding value to it and so on, okay, all of that is good for the future. I'm adding value to it and taking it and making different items out of it. And so that is one thing, because we did hear very clearly, we did hear the government speaking on that particular issue beforehand, yeah. And then even recently we heard this
Easter
one.
Monday usually sees Grenada's beaches teeming with sea bathers, but this year the eastern coastline, including the popular Marquee Beach, was overtaken by rotting sargassum seaweed, turning a holiday tradition into a disappointment for many. We have more in this report.
As families and friends gathered to celebrate Easter Monday across Grenada, several beaches along the island's eastern coast presented an unwelcome sight. Thick layers of sargassum seaweed blanketed the shoreline, emitting a strong odor that kept avid sea bathers at bay. Our news team visited the Marquee Beach on Monday to observe the scene firsthand, noting a significant drop in beachgoers opting for a dip in the sea. Instead, most people chose to engage in social activities away from the shoreline. Popular soca artist Kelly Topcat Christopher, who was among those visiting the area, expressed disappointment over the state of the beach.
On getting here, I'm on a tour with some kids, and on getting here, seeing the condition of the beach, one of the guys came straight up to me and he said, boy, I ain't think I could be here, and that kind of touched me a lot, and something else that really, crossed my mind is the cleanliness of the beach, No matter you have the sargassum, but then you still have a lot of other stuff like bottles and things that you can just put in a bin. I know our resources is what we have to offer to the people,
He added that Grenada's beaches remain a key draw for both locals and tourists and must be treated as a priority.
We as a people, we are our tourism, asset. We as a people. And what we have to offer is the beauty of the island, and we have to take care of it, and I think they should clean up the beach a little bit. We know the sargassum will still come, but at least for an occasion like today, a lot of people will be coming here, and I think it should be well kept.
NDC caretaker for the area, Senator David Andrew, who was present at the beach as part of ongoing preparations for an event, also spoke to our news team. He explained that the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority has been tasked with clearing the seaweed, but admitted that the job is no small feat.
Well, at the moment, the sargassum is being treated with through solid waste management because it's an environmental issue and it's being...
But there's no, we just hear from Madam Minister. But anyhow, and this was just a day or two before Madam Minister was putting the people to sleep, the anyhow.
Probably not as quickly as we'd want to see it because it comes up rapidly every day. But more importantly, I know the Ministry of Climate Resilience and the Environment, they have a plan. They have issued expressions of interest to persons who wanted to do the development, research into it, and the development of other secondary products from it.
With the sargassum threat now a seasonal reality, stakeholders are being urged to act swiftly, ensuring Grenada's beaches remain inviting for both residents and visitors alike. For MTV News, Troy Gill.
Easter Monday usually sees Grenada's beaches teeming.
So we heard the minister and we heard her statements in relation to this situation with the seaweed, and I'm checking here now some of the comments from the people living in those areas. Again, are you seeing any nets out there pulling up seaweed and so on, bringing it into Grand Mall or even to St. John or so for it to be deposited in any area? And so, because remember, these are the people. Okay, so yeah, from go off, they say they didn't see anything like that happening. Remember, according to the minister, since March, they start the process of removing and going out and so, So they're supposed to be collecting the seaweed, the wawet. They're supposed to be collecting it, Nice, right. So let me see, nothing so in Grand Mall, nothing so in St. John, nothing in Marquee, right? Lie, more lie. Okay, right, okay. Yeah, so, okay, right, okay, okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to know somebody, anybody from the area call, and maybe I don't know, maybe I ain't passed them areas for a good while. Yeah, I ain't passed those areas for a good couple months. So maybe somebody probably need to let me know if that is taking place, because according to the minister, there seem to be, and let's just take a quick look at Madam Minister again. Yeah, let's take a quick look.
Yeah, as well, that we have been vigorously targeting both at interim and long-term planning is the sargassum management. Grenada continues to lead regional efforts and international efforts as well in addressing the environmental and economic challenges posed by sargassum influxes. So in response to the influx, ladies and gentlemen, we've been experiencing that over, and it's a seasonal thing. So over the Easter holidays, you might have seen videos, you might have seen images as well, showing that, the influx started on the eastern side, and now it is in a large volume on the southern zone. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen it, and maybe some of you might have seen it as well too on your way here on the west side. Palmis, don't talk for the Lands Bay. So, as an immediate relief, ladies and gentlemen, we have had implemented our 2025 operational response plan.
Okay, so they've implemented the plan already. So that means it's started, it's operating. Let me hear what the plan entails.
Now, where we have hired 32 temporary workers and we have deployed the Coast Guard's assets to manage the seaweed collection effectively in the Maki and Sobeys area as of March 1st.
As of March 1st, just remember what she just said. They've got the Coast Guard along with the people dealing with that. We heard the senator saying that our solid waste management. We're hearing her saying that all the the Coast Guard together with some people that they hire, so not people through solid waste. So I don't know. Well, who's lying? Both of them.
The Coast Guard's assets to manage the seaweed collection effectively in the Maki and Sobeys area as of March 1st.
As of March 1st, we're on the 5th of the 5th of the 20 in 25. And as of March 1st, the Coast Guard was supposed to be pulling seaweed out in Maki and Sobeys. Sobeys and Maki people, tell me, is that happening? Are you all seeing that happening right now? So as of March 1st, not April 1st, there is no way you could mix up April and March. There is no way you could mix up April and March. And even if it was April 1st, All Fool's Day, even if it was April 1st, it still ain't happening. But so says the minister, so maybe we are a believer. Right? Are we here?
32 temporary workers, and we have deployed the Coast Guard's assets to manage the seaweed collection effectively in the Maki and Sobeys area as of March 1st, 2025. Priority has been
2025. So this year, this March, that is when that's supposed to be taking place. 25th, 1st March 2020. This year. Okay, all right. Okay, let me hear you again. So let me just take it back here. Nice. Want to hear you. Want to make sure we ain't misquoting you.
5 operational response plan. This is the local plan now, where we have hired 32 temporary workers and we have deployed the Coast Guard's assets to manage the seaweed collection effectively in the Maki and Sobeys area as of March 1st, 2025. Priority has been given so far on that side to residential areas. The materials collected are taken to Telescope. In collaboration with the GTA, we are responding to the influx of sargassum on the West Coast. And so we have the Yahama boats at the Coast Guard base, and we are mobilizing, and we intend to launch and deploy.
Well, let me find the audience, according to a friend of mine, looking kind of stressed out. That audience looking like they're under stress.
And to collect the sargassum in water using trawl nets. The materials will be landed at the Grand Mall jetty and it will be taken to Perseverance landfill. Priority is given to the commercial areas as well. The trawl nets will be used to collect sargassum in water on the west coast from tomorrow, and we are going to be landing at the Guave jetty.
Okay, so anybody in Guave, or let's see the Wawet coming in, let's see they bringing in the nets full of seaweed, or they bringing in the containers, whatever they put in the tin. Are you all seeing the Coast Guard out there with nets or whatever? Any fishing boat anyway, outside there with nets collecting the seaweed and bringing it in? Are you seeing anything? Anyway, yeah. But I would say.
Perseverance. The boats will be returned to the Coast Guard base at the end of each working day as a matter of security. So in the interim, we are dealing with it at the local level. Obviously, you cannot really, there's no means of predicting it really where it would go, because the tidal, the wave and all kind of thing, we just can't predict where you're gonna go. But we are trying our utmost to deal with it. So minus the noise and just focus on there is interim steps that we are taking.
Okay, I find these people looking like a stressed out group of people. Poor them. Oh God, Amway. Oh God, look who's sleeping. Wait, who's sleeping, who thing. Yeah, all they looking stressed out. I know. All they know she lying. So oh God, oh. Yeah, National Town Hall. Yeah, so I see people from all over, not even just St. Yeah, I see 1 or 2 St. John people there. Yeah, the people who has benefit by seeing people from Tong, people from Northwest St. George, people from all over. Yeah, Papa, yo. 1473-440-7377. That is the number you can find us on the WhatsApp. Give us a call. Let me know if all you're seeing that taking place in all your zone. Let me know if all you see that in all your zone. You understand? Because remember, these was the people with all the plans in relation to how to deal with this particular issue. Yeah, remember, these were the people that had all the plans.
Regulate that problem. Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. And any ABC environmentalist would have told you that that was not sound. So they started to take out all of the sand, and then the water started to come right up to the road. And then because that didn't work, nothing else was done. But hear me, an NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company based out of Martinique that specializes in capturing the seaweed, the sargassum.
Oh, you all already captured? Yeah, you all had already. Yeah. This, folks, just remember, this was before elections. Huh? So they had already contacted the company in Martinique. What partners behind? He's like, boy, oh, this man talking about you hush, boy. This one put his chin on he face on his chin and thing is like it's stressed out. It's like, why this guy ain't hush, man, setting us up, boy. Yeah, anyhow, go ahead.
The water started to come right up to the road. And then because that didn't work, nothing else was done. But hear me, an NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company based out of Martinique that specializes in capturing the seaweed, the sargassum, collecting. Well, they could do it if they want. The people will benefit if they can get it done before elections. Yeah? So, capturing it and washing, but not only that, we're going to bring it ashore and we are going to do research on it and make products with it. In other territories in the region, it's being done.
So let me just tell the people of Marquis, Soubise, Telescope, the town of Grenville, and other areas, all of you living up in Union and so on, that when that thing starts to smell, it affects you all up there. Yeah, you all need to message them and yeah. Somebody asking if she saw the seaweed under she bed. Papa, let us sit. But this person asking, oh, that situation with the seaweed in, I'm actually following an environmentalist on that one, my brother. Yeah, so you're asking the question. I don't know if Martinique move. So Martinique may have, I know they have a lot of earthquakes in that zone lately. So Martinique may have moved a little further away from Grenada and the person may be trying to swim down with the equipment to meet the NDC in relation to harvesting. Yeah, we'll use that word, harvesting the seaweed, the sargassum. Because all of a sudden the story changed from that now to doing the same thing, sending teams down on the beach now to remove the seaweed and all sorts of things. So all you're hearing here is stories instead of action. That's all you're hearing from these people. Yeah, all you're hearing from them are a set of stories instead of action. Yeah?
Since 2014, for you to not smell the stench that comes from the sargassum that the people of Soubise and Marquis have to live with day in, day out.
So I want you all in Soubise, Marquis, and the upper areas, because when the breeze blows, that scent leaves the beach and it goes up into the surrounding villages. So all of you who are living in those areas and you all are negatively affected by it, I would like you all to ask the Prime Minister, if you ever find him in Grenada, that is, because he's gone again, but ask them if they are there and they are not smelling what is they ain't smelling what the rock is cooking, no. Yeah, if they're smelling what is rotting, yeah, if they're smelling it now, because it seems as though the stories have been adjusted now. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, Sheldon. I want to find out even the scent and the bad smelling of the sargassum that affected Marquis and Soubise. I wonder if that disappear. because the Prime Minister was in election campaign talking about the condition of SOBs and Marky smelling. So I wonder if they clean up there. Right? And Brother Sheldon, when I analyze this government, it's a government headed by the Prime Minister, opening in more the widest, attacking a set of lies. And a government that only talk and no action. No action. Because they talk about building back better in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Look at now we are in the hurricane season, Sheldon. June coming, the 1st of June, the hurricane season begin. And what happened to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique? They waiting on the government to help them build back their home. And the government don't do nothing about that. They're talking and the same thing because they're all out now promising people they go do that. And I remember in the election campaign, they say that they have a company from Martinique coming down here to deal with the seaweed. And Brother Sheldon, up now, that can't be done here. I don't know if the company expired, the rapture take place, and that company disappear just like how the Prime Minister up in the sky. I don't know if that company up in the sky and it can't come down on the ground, it can't touch the ground. And I want to say to the Grenadian people, you all made a mistake. And you vote for some young people, some middle-aged people that think they have all the ideas to help solve the problem. And instead of the solve problem, they're creating more problem for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. I want to say to you, the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, especially the young people, don't be fooled again. Look at what they do to the Imani workers. They send them home. They send them one by one, they send them home. The young people, the Imani, you could make a show when NMP get back in office. That Imani program will be back and big and bigger to the middle age, everyone. I want to say we have a leader, the Honorable Emily Payne. She is a leader that see people, she does see color. And she see each and every one of us as Grenadian. She also has yellow and red and green. And when she became the Prime Minister, she will be a Prime Minister that will govern for each and everyone. And whenever anyone has to share, it is shared for everyone to get a portion of it. And we never hear certain word coming from our political leader that she only care about NMP. Because NMP track record, every hungry mouth should be fed. But this Prime Minister, he said the reason why the NMP get work because the real NDC don't know who is the NMP. And when you have a Prime Minister saying that this is the philosophy and the policies of this government. So Grenadian, make sure you get registered, young people get registered, vote. Father, mother, encourage your young children. Make sure you take a lead and encourage the children to get vote to get rid of this present government. Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right, thank you. Yes, folks, remember you can call 1473-440-7377, but you got to call us on the WhatsApp. Save the number to your phone with a plus sign at the beginning. Do it like it is an international call, plus sign 1473-440-7377. Once you save it to your phone like that, you will be able to call us on the WhatsApp as well. All right, yeah. So, folks, yeah, so we speak about the seaweed. I think I'm done with seaweed for now. Because I want to, before I get into the various activities coming up, and so we get a few that I must mention to you all. And just before I leave seaweed, good night, Mr. Scott, concerning the seaweed situation. All right, yeah. So the seaweed thing is real pappy show to begin with, right? Okay, we'll get back to that in a short while. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Salute.
Hey, Fadu, what's in? Oh, Fadu, here today. Call back, man. Call back now. Nice, you're right. You touched something there, right? Fadu.
Brother.
Yeah, man, like you touch a wrong button, man.
The protocol talk show host, man.
I'm back, man. I'm back.
You've been missed, bro.
But I'm here tonight, man. Cut and go through.
All right, safe. That's good. That's good. But hear what? You can't leave the sarcasm thing yet because I have some things I want to talk about. If you get me.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I felt that these people, the administration was on a bag of BS. Based on how they came up with that. One being, it's like which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Because the same, like let's for instance, the leatherback turtles that they're trying to save, right?
Mm-hmm.
They actually feed off the sargassum. There are a lot of wildlife that uses sargassum as food in the young ages, right? So in the same breath of trying to say they want to clear that up, they kind of destabilize in habitats. When they said that they already make contact with the people from Martinique and all that, that means that all the information is there already. The research has been done because people are already employed. You don't need to make a new blueprint. It have a blueprint already. So for them talking about study and all that, the studies have already been done, right? It's like, it's not a pattern. So it's, you could just get the information and just employ the same information that's there. So it's just a bag of BS, bro. All these people talking, like even the female I was talking in that, like she really conscious about what she's saying, and it's like even when she reading. Anyways, that's just frustrating in its own. Question: do you have any idea why there's a specific ministry shut down?
Which ministry is shut down? I'm not clear.
See, I don't want to put anybody on blast because I didn't ask the individual if I could really talk about this conversation, So I feel off just kind of mention it, but I think I find like there's a lot of workers going home with illness, with problems, and it seems to be stemming from one ministry. So that's maybe something you should look into. There's a couple workers going home, having different issues, skin lesions. Well, I won't say lesions, but skin breakouts, rash, that kind of stuff. Breathing, swollen limbs and all that. And it seems to be coming from one ministerial complex, or one area. So yeah, I think that's something we need to look into. Maybe it might just be something isolated to the building.
I like to be
contagious.
I like to be fair as well. There is a situation where the ministerial complex, floor by floor, is being retrofitted. That has been taking place over an extended period of time. I mean, this government makes it seem as though it's only when they came in that they're doing it. But you had, in some areas, you had carpets there from since the place was built back in the early 2000s, late 1990s, somewhere there when it was built. And as such, the carpets were being removed and different things in different areas and tiles. And that has been a constant process over the years. It continues now. So I don't know if it's an environmental factor or if it is a situation that there's an outbreak of some sort of bacteria or virus or whatever it is in that area. What I would hope is that knowing the Public Workers Union, they always look at health and safety. As they say, OSHA, occupational safety and health and so on, they look at that. So I'm hoping that if that situation is existing, that they would look into that and they would speak on behalf of the workers thus affected.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to bring some awareness to it,
Yeah,
I think it might be kind of swept under the rug. I noticed that's something that's being, championed. Question: have you ever heard about BlackRock?
BlackRock? As in the area?
As in the investment companies, the investment agents, World Bank and all that?
I cannot say that I've heard of them directly, no.
Oh, okay. I think you might get a good read in trying to do some research on that. So years ago, well, obviously there's been cleanup and all that, but years ago there was some scandals on BlackRock, right? There's some scandals on Bear, the company Bear.
Bear Stearns?
Bear.
Yeah, I think I know that particular one. Okay. The investment company.
All right. You see the new appointment that Mr. Dangote has been given, right? The other names that's on that list with him, there's three other names. So I think there was 4 of them that I saw. If you research these names and the people that these people are connected with, they have ties with BlackRock. Now, I guess if once you're dealing with the World Bank, because it's an investment company, you would have some integration with it, right? But as I said, it seems too coincidental. No, even Bear, well, you won't go get slander or anything for that. They can't come at you because it's been documented. They were affiliated. Well, it was alleged that they had cases of dealing with hemophiliacs and giving them the A virus, no?
Oh yeah, that
Right?
yeah, I remember that situation. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and that was in the 1980s, back in the 1980s or early 1990s or something like that. You had a case where
right.
they were dealing with they were doing pharmaceuticals, but they were dealing with blood, and several people ended up with
Yeah.
HIV because of that. Yeah, they were not properly handling and properly testing.
So, exactly. So you have those individuals that's being put in the same thing with the Dangote dude, that more or less are connected to these individuals. No, this comes across as worst case scenario, but it's clear that they really don't care about us. That's clear, right? It's not no guesswork again. So it might sound far-fetched that these individuals are more or less don't mind unaliving certain people or people being unalive. I don't think that's far-fetched. To take away money from individuals, to put things in place so that they don't survive, or taking away bread from like money sponsorship from programs and radio stations and all that. I mean, it's clear that they don't have a problem seeing people suffer. You see, man? So do some research on the BlackRock thing.
I will.
And I trust it will be a very interesting read for you. The names that's assigned with dude, very interesting read. Did you get away with the homework?
No, I'm working on a project and it does not offer me as much time. Let me just say, it doesn't offer me as much time as I used to have to be able to get certain things done.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll see what I can dig out for you, and I'll send it your way.
Okay,
right?
No problem, my brother.
Have you any news on the phenomenon that was happening in the West Hall area?
I have been following up reports by an environmentalist in relation to that issue. One, that environmentalist, Dr. Valma Jessamy, if you check Facebook, she's been making some very insightful posts in relation to the phenomenon that's happening there. The fact that you most likely have sargassum that is decomposing, and it is decomposing at the lower levels. So in other words, it has gotten into the harbor, it has sunk to the bottom, because the harbor itself at some points is 50 feet deep, some points 100 feet deep, so that it has sunk to the bottom there, and it is rotting. And then when you had the rainfall and the fresh water coming down and mixing with the salt water in that area, that the chemical composition of the water at that point in time changes, and that may be what is causing what is happening at that point.
That's where you get the stratas. That's where you get the layers.
So it means that no net caught that seaweed before you get inside there. No net caught that particular one. But that is check her page. She has been putting out some information in relation to it. She's very informative, and that is her field. She's an environmentalist. She does environmental impact assessments, etc. So I would trust what she says in relation to what is taking place there. Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a gander. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Before I leave, I want to say feelings go out to the individuals that lost their life, the individuals that were shot, and even the officer that's has been been put in a crazy predicament right now. But saying that, Fadu, it comes to my attention that more or less every institution that governs the law of the land, to me, has been compromised. Every aspect of it. So it's almost like we did an outlaw state in my head. Every aspect of the people that set rules, from the churches to the law enforcement, to the government, even the teachers that's supposed to be teaching our kids, they all been compromised. And it's a hard fit for me mentally, knowing that, as you say, like, we people don't have no problem with we people suffering, bro.
As I said, it's a slavery mentality that
Fam, they will take one of us to kill one of us just to say it's one of us.
But I see the thing is
You
that
get me?
for instance, you father, you hear and you speak and so. And if tomorrow something happened with you, everybody that don't know you seems to have some major opinion about why whatever it is happened
Facts.
and so
Big
on and all
facts.
sort of thing. And some of these people speaking as though they know you and they've known you for years and this kind of
Big
thing.
facts.
You never even meet these people in your life.
Big facts. Big facts.
It's sad because you see a lot of times people tend to forget that people are family too. Even if you may be in the wrong, you know, there's a family behind you. There's a mother, there's a father, their brothers, their sisters, their children, there are other people that they're too. So it's not just let me deal with that person and let me kill that person and let me this and let me that. But there are people that are connected to you that are also directly affected by whatever is happening. That's why anytime you have a situation where there's a murder or something, look, we had a murder over the weekend. Anytime you have a murder or something, that we here on Talking Points always send out on condolences to all involved.
All parties
All
involved.
involved.
I find that's very humane.
Yeah, we're not just taking one side and say, well, kill this person or thing. We send it out to everybody.
Everybody, it's a lost right wrong, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lost right wrong, and it has ripple effects.
Yeah, sad for the families.
The energy that has been materializing based on the forceful hand of the administration, right? All that is triggers for it. Fadu, I swear up and down, all you getting some Optimus just now. You get me? You go have pool. I'm telling you, bro, it's like it's setting up for that because you what's up, right? You remember when I made the mention about the way they deporting people and send people because they go into automation and robotics and all that, right? The same Musk. His plan is to have Optimus available for consumer between $10,000 to $20,000, you know. Available in 2026. That's next year.
Fadu, I have to take it here because I have two issues that I must raise. And
do thing now. Just bring some awareness to them things.
No, why I say that because three issues. And the thing is, two of them have pretty lengthy clips to play. So if there's anything, you could call back again.
Now I'll take in the show. Yeah, I'll do that.
No problem, brother. Yeah, bless.
No time, bro.
Yeah. Man. Yes, folks. So I wanted to deal, and very important what he's speaking about there, but I also wanted to deal with a couple issues before I go into the promos. One, there's an issue that is existing in Petit Martinique right now when it comes to water. And I just want to put on record that it is unfair what is taking place to the people of Petit Martinique when it comes to water.
Hello everyone. As you know, I'm Odinga from Petit Martinique. I'm a native and a small business owner on the island. Now, there is something very concerning to me that I would like to talk about. It is a pressing matter that I think needs to be addressed. It has to do with Nawasa. Now, as everyone knows, Hurricane Beryl passed recently, and we have been out of roofs, no water. We rely mainly on the Nawasa system. Approximately 95% of us on this island rely on the Nawasa water for our daily use. My business, I'm sitting in my business here. That is what is totally reliant on. I have no water in my cistern. My cistern is totally dry. Now, last night when we went home about 8 o'clock, to my great surprise, turned on the tap, no water in the tap, no water. So we proceeded to call the Nawasa rep on the island. When we called him, he said he's very sorry, he apologized, but there is a part that he has to send to Carriacou for them. They're requesting it, Nawasa's management is requesting the part to service Carriacou. Now tell me, you find this is right? How are we supposed to survive on the island? So Carriacou, Nawasa know that Carriacou has water issues for months now. Don't you think that they could have purchased the part for Carriacou instead of having to send down Petit Martinique's part to Carriacou? And to add insult to injury, no one notified us. Don't you think the PRO of Nawasa is supposed to put out a notice stating that there is no water for Petit Martinique and X and Y? Yes, we apologize. We sympathize with Carriacou, but what happened to us Petit Martiniquans? The school relies on Nawasa. The health center relies on Nawasa. Homes rely on Nawasa. everybody you look at this morning, no nawasa, no water. I was on the verge of shutting my business down today because no water. I had to store water in buckets for my restaurant. Well, my guest house is closed down until further notice because there is no water for my guests to use. So I have no choice, I have to close it down. Now, do you think in a time of this, when small business owners like myself and other business owners that are preparing to reopen, we should have to be going through this? We should not have to be going through this. This is very, very annoying. It is disturbing and it is not nice. Now, so you need to do better than that. I'm so sick about the matter.
So they took a part from Petit Martinique?
Yeah, they took a part. I thought it was the pump, but actually, maybe, I don't know if it's the control part, like the PC board or whatever. They requested that they send it to Carriacou. We got water this morning for 1.5 hours and it went away because as far as I understand, the tank is not getting enough time to replenish because the time they send back up the part. So if the part leaves 7:15 in the morning, what time is coming back in the evening? 5:30. This is craziness. This is madness. This cannot. Nawasa addresses this matter and they do better.
All right, folks. So you've heard from a resident of Petit Martinique what is taking place when it comes to water in Petit Martinique. You heard what they had to say. Yeah, somebody was calling, so I'm calling them back. Yeah. Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Good night, my talking points family. Good night, Sheldon.
I vex with you.
Sheldon?
I vex with you.
I know it.
Right, go ahead.
Sheldon, I went to Grenville Friday. Right? And as soon as I reach in Grenville, Sheldon, I start having bad feelings because of this stinking seaweed in Subi's down there. Sheldon, they say they want to break my minister, building a set of stupid bathroom and tiles, but I don't know. Tell them to go and clean Subi's way stinking instead of coming in my constituency and make poppy show and stupidness. Right? Tell them to go and fix Subi's and Marquis and those surrounding areas down there because down there, I'm telling you, you pass with your vehicle down there and you have to lock up. The place stink. And to tell you Friday, Sheldon, I pass in and a minister passing and holy nose. I don't call his name, but a minister passing and hold his nose because the place stink. He can't stand it for himself. Sheldon, have a good night.
All right, my dear. Yes, indeed, folks. 440-7377. You can call us on the WhatsApp, and if I miss your call, you see I won't call you back. Now, folks, also, I was just informed by a good friend of mine there. I was informed they had one truck for the people that deal with the seaweed over the period of time. They had a truck for it. Now, when Hurricane Beryl passed last year, that truck was taken from that program and it was sent up to Carriacou. So a couple of weeks ago, they got another truck to use for the seaweed program. That truck was involved in an accident, so that truck is down. So they don't have trucks using for that seaweed program. I'm saying what I've been told by people who know what is going on, right? So the people involved in that aspect, who's supposed to be going around and doing the seaweed, they are basically at home right now and they can't go out and do the job. And outside of that, even when they have to go out to do the job, they are getting sick because they ask for simple things like masks and so on to, protect yourself because the thing is smelling. It is releasing a dangerous gas. And they've asked for the mask and the protective gear for that, which has not been given to them. So even if they have to go out, they keep getting sick when they go out to try and deal with the thing. So this is not an easy thing. Yeah, but you hear them talking about they hire 32 people and all this kind of thing to go and pick up the seaweed. And so, yeah, so anyway, yes, Papa, anyway. Yeah, folks, so let me just remind you all of some of the things coming up quickly before I move on to the final two issues for tonight. One of them I will have to extend into tomorrow night because there's a lot of information we have to deal with that. So Flavor King Barbecue with Southeast Women's Group, they are having the chicken and fries that's taking place this Friday. Yeah, up in Richmond Hill. Or they didn't put the date on the thing, the location. Come on, man, put the location. But it's taking place up in Richmond Hill, and a contact number now in case people want to order small $15, large $20. Or just send me a revised flyer, please put the location and the number that people could call. So that is taking place this Friday from midday. We're going to get more information on that for you all. All right, I'll let you know about the vacancy and so yeah, check it out. Nice. All right, that is 403-4421. If you could braid, you could do nails, check it out. All right, the new National Party Women's Arm, they are having coming up a Cup of Love, celebrating mothers. It's taking place at the Grenada Trade Center Annex on Sunday, the 25th of May from 3 p.m. Time, only $100. It's an afternoon tea party and hat show. And that is going to be taking place on Sunday, the 25th of May, a Cup of Love. Get your fancy dandan hat and, go and drink your tea and them kind of thing. I might tell you, coffee. They have hat show, bingo, they have special prizes, all them kind of thing. Yes, they have a hat show. So if you know you have a hat there and you ain't get a chance to put it on and head out yet, they're nice. The new National Party Women's Arm have an activity for you. All right, so that's a Cup of Love, celebrating mothers, their tea party and hat show, and that is going to be taking place at the Grenada Trade Center Annex Sunday the 25th of May. Price only $100, and they do have door prizes. They have bingo and other things taking place. Folks, remember, little Kellyanne, I have to double check if she is out now, if they've gone, but they do need your help. Remember, cooperative bank account in the name of Kelly George, and that's account number 1063547, and Nexa Credit Union, Melian Francois at 221-553-100. Yeah, so we're trying to help young Kelani, only 4 years old. Yeah, this is when she was up there doing her first round of treatment, and so nice little child. Eh? You see all these nice little children the devil trying to take from us? Yeah, you have to chase the devil. Not going to take with children from us. We're making sure. Yes. So she's been diagnosed with a Wilms tumor. That was in April of last year. She traveled to the US last year and had a successful surgery, but has to return every 3 months to do the follow-up and so on, right? And then, she still has the implant as well. So they need to continue being able to do what they have to do. The parents have been doing an excellent job thus far, but they need the help. Yeah? And as I always say, we never know when it go fall in we pot. So let us help when we can. As small as it might be, help when we can. All right? So folks, yeah, the phone lines are open, 1473-440-7377. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on the inside. And hey, Noise Radio, let me run that
For
one
more
for you.
information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463. Or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed, folks. So We Noise TV, instead of Netflix and thing, you could get your We Noise TV and thing. The same people who are broadcast talking points. We used to broadcast hard, talk, all them kind of thing, right? Yes, you could get a little system set up from them and so on. Yeah, the support who that support me, and then they support me, so I supporting them. All right, folks. So we heard our announcement over the weekend, yeah. Let me see. What we hear over the weekend?
The Minister of Energy is mandated and instructed. Always our energy sector has been the mainstay. We have one of the oldest oil industries in the world. So we have that competitive advantage, which you can use to market to our CARICOM neighbors right here, and of course further afield. But my Minister of Energy has been mandated from day one. Let's explore the offer being made by Guyana to bring gas to Trinidad and Tobago. Let us explore as well. Let us explore as well what we can do. Suriname is also energy producing. Again, we can partner with them. But I have a surprise for you. I intend to send my Minister of Energy to Grenada because I'm being told that Grenada offshore has more gas and oil than the Dragon field. So shall we explore that? Let us explore that.
So, folks, that was the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, I know she and Aisha and them go work it out because, remember, Aisha Ashamungo, however she named, the woman that they arrested last week and they have out on bail in Nigeria. Yeah. As far as we know, she's supposed to be involved in oil and gas down here. So I don't know how that's going to work out between Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissessa and Aisha and the government of Grenada in relation to that and so on. But let me see how it works out. Yeah, the Trinidad and Tobago government is now interested in Grenada's oil and gas. Further to that, she also said the following on TTT News.
Now a government in place in Trinidad and Tobago, and the first order of business is boots on the ground and get to work. We have a lot of work to do.
Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa made several surprise announcements following the swearing-in of her cabinet on Saturday. Among them were the Stand Your Ground laws and home invasion laws, as well as granting firearm users licenses to law-abiding citizens. But one that stood out the most was TNT's push in the energy industry, Grenada, to be precise.
But I have a surprise for you. I intend to send my Minister of Energy to Grenada because I'm being told that Grenada offshore has more gas and oil than the Dragon field. So shall we explore that?
The Prime Minister said her administration would not move forward with the previous government's Dragon gas deal.
That is dead. It is dead. They kept it alive for 10 years. And they couldn't do that in 10 years. They're not going to do it now. Let's look right in the Caribbean. As I mentioned, Grenada, Guyana, Suriname.
Meanwhile, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Dr. Rudal Munilal, said it's his intention to position TNT as the energy capital of the Caribbean.
Even before the swearing-in, the Guyanese government and officials there have expressed interest in having arrangements with Trinidad and Tobago and discussions pertaining to gas. And it is something that we will quickly engage the government and the relevant officials in Guyana.
And with regard to the Oando deal with the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery, Dr. Munilal said it is on his agenda and would also pursue an independent assessment of the state of the refinery.
And on Monday, we'll be calling for all notes and minutes and reports of all the meetings that Mr. Stuart Young and Dr. Rowley attended pertaining to the energy sector in Trinidad and Tobago.
So yeah, it seems as though a lot is going to be taking place in relation to oil and gas in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. As to how Grenada would be able to benefit out of what is taking place there, we are wait to see. There are discussions that are going to be taking place in relation to oil and gas there. So we're waiting to hear how that develops. Yeah, we're waiting to hear how that develops because while the current Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is making those statements, while she's making those statements, the now opposition and one of the three Prime Ministers that Trinidad had for the year so far, made this statement a little earlier today.
Being suggested by the Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, as well as her newly appointed Minister of Energy, the Minister Rudal Munilal, the new Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, that they are now going to turn towards Grenada. And the exact words were, Grenada offshore has more gas and oil than the Dragon deal. I'd just like to offer some cautionary words with respect to this. It was in 2012, a government led by Ms. Persad-Bissessar signed an MOU with Grenada with respect to hydrocarbons, an energy sector development framework agreement in 2012. But
just note that it was not the New National Party in power in 2012, huh? Yeah.
In 2018, the NGC went and signed a commercial arrangement with a company called Global Petroleum Group, which was, I believe, a Russian-based company. We negotiated at the time a commercial term sheet for any gas reserves that were found, not gas reserves, any gas that would be produced. So actually arranged and negotiated commercial terms. However, the facts are that this one well was drilled in a field called Nutmeg. That one exploration well, unfortunately, had to be abandoned and has been capped. That is since 2018. The way the energy sector works is that right now there are no proven reserves. There are no proven reserves, meaning it is only when you have proven reserves you can begin to look at how do you commercialize that gas, how do you now produce the gas. So at this stage, I would just caution about this concept. Whilst I hope that there are significant hydrocarbon resources, the fact that since 2018 to now, there has been no progress on this and that there are no proven reserves with one well being drilled certainly means that it is very, very far from any commercialization. Because first of all, there are no proven reserves at this stage. You would have to drill more wells. Only after you drill wells, you then do what you call analysis of what is found as a result of those wells, what may be contained in reservoirs. And only after a lot of work and a lot of analysis do you then decide, okay, there are in fact proven reserves or possible reserves there. You would then be required to drill more wells and to move towards negotiations for commercialization. This is also going to be fields that have no close infrastructure nearby. So to commercialize and to bring any such reserves to market is simply not at this stage a feasible concept. You're also now dealing in a world where the truth is there are concepts like floating LNG, where persons depending on the amount of reservoirs of gas may very well just put down platforms, extract the gas straight into floating LNG platforms and take the gas elsewhere rather than bringing it via pipeline to onshore. So I am simply cautioning and saying to Trinidad and Tobago at this stage, this is very, very far off from being feasible. In fact, when I was Minister of Energy, I did have conversations with the Prime Minister of Grenada as well as his various ministers, offering for us to utilize whatever expertise we have at the Ministry of Energy to look at the seismic data that may be available. The truth is the company, the Global Petroleum Group, ran into difficulties. It is not an easy thing. You have to find companies that are going to spend significant sums of money to do the exploration, to do the proving, and then to go through the commercial concepts. The minimum amount of time this can take, if you find significant reserves that make it commercial, would be between 10 to 15 years. Trinidad and Tobago has to look at the short term and the medium term, which is exactly what was being done.
Yes, folks. So what you just heard from Honorable Stuart Young, Member of Parliament, I can't remember the constituency right now, is exactly what the New National Party was saying in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and has been saying from ever since. that is not simply a situation that, okay, we fine and you just start to take and go with one time. Because I remember when the announcement was made of the initial fine on the 11th of May in Pearls, and even before that, in 2017, there were several news articles coming out of Trinidad and Tobago at that point in time in different media. The Trinidad Guardian had one in relation to it. The then Minister of Energy, the late Franklin Can, Franklin Can, he was speaking about doing a deal with Grenada with oil and gas so that whatever is in Grenada can be used in Trinidad and so on. They can refine it. And so you're producing in Grenada, you're taking it out of the ground in Grenadian waters and you're sending it down. Another thing that people need to understand here, when it comes to global petroleum, because I think I see some individuals trying to give the impression that global petroleum is owning all the land space around Grenada when it comes to oil. That is not so. There have been several blocks that are subdivided. So you have different areas. They were drilling in one area. They found what they found in that particular area. That was announced. It didn't hide it from the Grenadian people. It said to the Grenadian people, listen, they found what they found. And the same thing that you hear Stuart talking about there, that you must go and do your tests. You must drill additional wells and so on, because you have to verify the quantity and the quality of what it is you have found before you get to the stage of we're going to refine and all that kind of thing. And this is not a cheap thing. You're talking basically hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars to get that ball rolling, right? So when you hear of global petroleum, some people give the impression, well, global petroleum, if they find oil here, immediately there's global petroleum you have to go through, or you find it there. No, that is only in relation to the particular block which they have to develop. And if I remember correctly, according to how the contracts work, they have to develop within a specific period of time or they would lose the rights to that particular area. So they have to develop what they have to develop within a period of time. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get our good friend, my birthday twin, Honorable Gregory Bowen. We tried to get him on sometime this week. We'll try to get him on with us so that we can have a further discussion in relation to the issue of the oil and gas and all this sort of thing. Because I see all kind of people trying to give, like if Grenadian was hiding thing. I see a dunce post. And you know, I can't expect an intelligent post from the Honorable Ron Redhead. I can't expect a sensible post from him. The guy doesn't even know the things he's talking about and posting things. Like if the New National Party was hiding information. You found the thing, the people found it. In 2017, they verified. You announced it in 2018. Look, this is what they found. This is the intention. After that, the New National Party ruled out what its intention was for that sector. Because as it is right now, if you just start extracting right now, yes, Grenada would make some money, but you know who are going to be the people working there? It's going to be the Trinidadians. It's going to be the Guyanese. It's going to be the Surinamese. It's going to be the Americans. It's going to be people from all the other oil-producing countries, because Grenada has not gotten to the stage, which is where we ought to have been by this point in time had the strategy been continued. You ought to have had people that were trained in hydrocarbons now to pick up some of the high-paying jobs in that field right now so that they'll be able to make the money when you start to do additional wells and that sort of thing. But where it's at right now, we should hear from Mr. Nazarburg and them to go tell us where it's at with the oil and gas soon, man. Yeah, they'll tell us where we at with that. As I said, 4407377. Also, there was one more announcement that I had to make. Yeah, the New National Party New York Support Group, they're having their Evening of Elegance. That's taking place on the 21st of June, so save the date for that one at Carriacou. We'll be giving you some more information in relation to that. So that's the New National Party New York Support Group. They're having their event on Evening of Elegance taking place on June 21st, 2025 at the Carriacou. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Right? There's another issue as well that I want to raise. We've got to go deeply into the oil and gas sometime during this week once I speak to Brother Bowen and we can get him on. And so we're going to go deeper into the oil and gas issue. Now, some months ago, I heard of a training that was taking place, and I was glad to hear that that training was taking place with young folks in relation to cyber. And so they were going to be trained in relation to cyber security and to be system analysts and all that sort of thing. And I think the impression that was given to those young people, and that's a training that was being done by CompTIA, yeah. They were the ones that organized that training. There was CompuNation, I think. I think I wrote it here somewhere. There was another company involved, I think CompuNation, out of Canada, that Cyber Nation, right, that is supposed to be doing that training. And so in Grenada, they're training 100 young people. And now, only to hear that the young folks are being asked to pay back the money for the training. And a lot of them, they didn't understand that what they were getting into, that was the situation, because what they are now asking these young people to pay back, from what I'm hearing, is in the region of $13,000, like 5,000 US. That is what these people, in fact, 5,000 US is $13,520. Yeah, around that. Yeah. Yes, 5,000 US. That's about how much in EC, about 13,520 and 75 cents. That's how much it is. And you're telling these young people now, after they've done the training, that they have to pay back that money to the government of Grenada. And the thing about it is that while that training is being done through this Canadian company, 7,000 or so Canadian dollars, while this training is being done through that Canadian company, the same training is available in Grenada already for these young people at the T.A. Marichaud Community College. And at the T.A. Marichaud Community College, the cost of that would be just around $2,700 per child. You all understand what I'm saying here? You had training that you could have done through the T.A. Marichaud Community College. You could have sent the young people into their hands-on, and they do their cyber training, in whether it's to become system analysts or ethical hackers or whatever it is. Yes, ethical hackers. That's people who test your system to find out if hackers can get into it and recommend to you ways of protecting it and that sort of thing. So you have, police officers who would use their hacking skills, not just to check up on Sheldon Scott and who we're talking to, and to listening to his conversations and that sort of thing, but to actually use it for the right reason that they're supposed to use it for, to go after the drug lords and all those people who are involved in drugs and guns and all these kind of things. That's what they should use it for. So you have the situation where that training could have been done through the T.A. Marichaud Community College. It would have cost there, the same training, $2,700 for them to do the training at the T.A. Marichaud Community College. Instead of that, you had a company created right after the general election, a company that was created right after the general election, paid over $2 million, from what I'm hearing. I think that's one of the figures we heard in relation to what is thing there. Paid over $2 million to provide the same certification that the T.A. Marichaud Community College has had over 10 years. Yeah? CompTIA is the people that provide the certification in relation to the training. They have certified T.A. Marichaud Community College over 10 years now, since 2015 or when. They have been certified to provide the type of training that the government come in, do like didn't exist in Grenada, and then hire this company that came in that still have to come back and use, from what some of the students saying, some of the same people at the T.A. Marichaud Community College to teach. So now they're asking these young people who are not aware, because that's what I'm saying, what the young people tell me, what they say. They were not aware that it would be a situation that at the end of their training now, they're receiving notice that they must pay back to the government of Grenada. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. You have to pay them or else. That they have to pay back to the government of Grenada some 5,000 US dollars. Where you're getting young people who just learned to do this thing, where are you getting them to find that kind of money to pay back to the government of Grenada? Where they're finding $13,000, $13,500 or so to go and pay back to the government of Grenada at this stage. It is unfair And especially when the same training, the same way you spend 5,000, you could have gotten 4 people trained at the T.A. Maricho Community College for the same amount. Most of these young people doing the thing online right now. They're at home doing the training, and so there's no hands-on, where they could have gotten hands-on training at the T.A. Maricho Community College, because from what they're saying, the same thing that they're doing online, the same thing that many of them have to go, and I'm just saying what they say, the same thing that many of them now have to go and do on their own. They have to go and research and go and test and try and learn on their own, and still have to come back and pay back the government 5,000 US per person. Now, they could have gotten that training for $2,700 by a institution that has been there and that has been certified by the same people that Cyber Nations, the same people that certify Cyber Nations that come in and get the $2 million, is the same people that certified T.A. Maricho Community College 10 years ago. T.A. Maricho Community College, remember I was around, you know. T.A. Maricho Community College received regional awards in relation to the technical training and so on that is taking place there. We don't speak about those things much, but that is the situation. And I'm saying that if it was not made clear to these young people earlier, it is very unfair to them right now, because that 5,000, they have to repay it with 1% interest. It is very unfair to those young people now to come at this stage and try to tell them that they have to repay 13,000 something EC dollars at 1% interest. Come on, man. Yeah? Serious. You're spending 5,000 US for training with a recently formed company where you could have spent $2,700 EC per person for the same training at an institution that has been physically here in Grenada providing the same training for the last 10 years. Make it make sense to me. You see, they like to talk these things and then you don't hear the backstory in relation to a lot of them, you know. You don't hear the backstory in relation to a lot of these things. So it sounds nice on the outside. It sounds wonderful on the outside. You're hearing that, hey, they're providing the training for these young people and they're going to get training. And so, yeah, you're going to get the training. That's nice. It's wonderful to provide the training. But we have an institution that exists in Grenada that could have already provided. But I don't know who are the principal people. It would be interesting to find out who are the people behind Cyber Nation. I ain't saying no corruption take place. I'm saying that there were better choices that could have been made by this administration. Because at the beginning, they tried to give you the impression it was the Canadian government that is going to provide. And so that was, they didn't say it directly, but they gave the impression like it's the Canadian government going to provide the funding. They're working with Canada, they're working with this, they're working with that to get the training done and the training, and we need these. Yes, we need these people in the Grenadian workforce. Yes, young folks who get jobs in that sector will be able to make significant amounts of money without even leaving their home. They can stay at home, stay on the computer, and they could make tens of thousands of dollars a month. That is a fact. But the training is already offered at the T.A. Maricho Community College. And some of the same young people have to be going to the same tutors where they could have gone. Because I'm sure that if you told these young people that they had the option, that they would have to repay 5,000 US to you for a training, that they could have gone to the T.A. Maricho Community College, pay $2,700 and get the same training and the exact same certification that they would have gone to the T.A. Maricho Community College. But remember, this government, as I always say, like to deal with window dressing and facades, paint things and make it look better than it really is. So they had to come and say, well, we do a program. So even though there was an existing program from way back, maybe because the program existed from during the days of the New National Party. So even though there was an existing, not was, but there is an existing program. They came and they did the other one. They had the big launch and thing. Oh, cyber workforce initiative, 100 young people, all sorts of things. Wherefore, the amount that they are asking each of these young people to pay back now they could have actually gotten 4 young people. So instead of 100, they could have had 400 young people trained through the T.A. Marisho Community College in the exact same thing and receive the exact same certification. Maybe I stupid, so I don't understand. Folks, phone number 1473-440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside. Yeah, so I know when them young people go find that kind of money, they have to find that kind of money to go and pay back. Yeah. Let me see. We go find out, man. Where they go find that money to go and be able to pay that. But they are asking these young people right now to pay back the money. That is what I hear from the young people, that they are being asked to pay that back. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott. Good night.
Camille Teresa Scott. How you doing, my love?
Yes. I tell boy, I did. As you drive me, old foot that bun in me.
Oh,
you
boy.
look nice, so.
I shave. I take off the beard. I
don't want to say that. Anyhow, good. I want to say good night to all the NNP family, home and abroad. That's my good night. Yeah, good night to Dr. Mitchell. Wherever you say good night. Love you. And everybody, Miss Yolan, being Hosford. Miss Care, good night to everybody. Well, we there, boy, and they are listening to you. Are they sleeping? You know, that just jump up.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Camille, how it going in town?
Eh?
How is it going in town?
Hard time. Is what you go do. You have to have the money and you have to have money to spend. Yeah. But to be honest speaking, I'm not complaining. I thank God for the breath of life. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he have some people that will come, make sure they pass and they leave a dollar and make sure it for me. And I'm very grateful for that, you know. And the children, the school children, everybody coming is Miss Scott. I put in them on bus, I give them what I have to give them when they go home. But that just my duty to see the children take bus and go home. But I could otherwise, I'm not around my house, I'm hungry. And just know you will get breadfruit. Yes.
Yeah.
And you will get zabuka. Yeah.
Well, that's alpha
that queen, you get breadfruit on the car, long just know. Yes. But everything good. So all the NNP family, stay strong. NNPites, stay strong. And make sure that you all get your children registered. Register them young children, all you have who is 18. Make sure you register them. Because I can't take that jamming and that them right now. I can't take that. Yeah. Register the children that reach 18. All who hear me, register all the children. And have a good night and have a blessed week, everybody. But Sheldon, a day, you know, a day.
All right.
I will take care.
All right,
yes,
Yami, thank you so very much. You have a wonderful one.
Yes.
Yes, indeed, folks. That was Miss Kiame. Yes, indeed. So, folks, the phone lines are open 1473-440-7377. That's 1473-440-7377. That is the number you can use to call and get into talking points tonight. Yeah, it's a sad situation with those children in that digital workforce initiative. So I don't know if it's some of them were told that, hey, you're going to have to repay it at the end, but it seems as though a lot of them did not know that they would have to repay that money, and it's the volume of money that they have to repay. Yeah, you're talking about, I mean, for a young person that has been unemployed, is now doing this training with the full intention of obtaining a job at the end of the training, it is extremely difficult for them right now to find that kind of money to go and repay. And especially without being told up front that, hey, you're going to have to repay that sort of money and that kind of, it's absolutely difficult for them. So they are crying out in relation to that. Those that have reached out, they are crying out in relation to that particular issue of what is taking place, you know, because they have been learning their the ethical hacking and the security analysts and all that sort of thing. And as I said, it's very interesting. I don't know what the people behind Cyber Nation, but I'll say that at the TMI Show Community College, what Cyber Nation is being paid for one trainee could have trained 4 at TAMCC. 4. So instead of having 100 people available right now, and I want to know what the criteria was used to choose the people that were chosen and so on, because sometimes you have to ask these questions. So what was the criteria used to select the people that got into the program in the first place? But even after that, why decide to go with $2 million there that you could have put $2 million into the T.A. Marisho Community College? And they know the T.A. Marisho Community College needs that money. They know for a fact that that money would have come in very handy for the T.A. Marisho Community College. The same people that could provide the same training and the same certification are hearing a certain family name calling as involved in the company that get the 2 million. Are hearing that? I remember in the early days of the NDC administration, there was talk of a $2 million that was supposed to go to the Grenada Coding Academy to provide similar training. And at the end of the training, these young people would go into jobs and so on, and there was supposed to be an arrangement. All of a sudden, I stopped hearing about the Coding Academy. I think they still do some classes at some secondary schools, but I know in the earlies there was talk of a $2 million towards the Coding Academy, and maybe somebody has grabbed the idea and run with it. So all of a sudden now, it's gotten to the stage that you have this other company, and as I said, I'm not aware of exactly who are hearing a certain very popular family name within the NDC and around being called as being involved directly in that company that get the $2 million to do the training. Yeah? But I think that questions have to be asked. Yeah, questions definitely have to be asked in relation to this particular issue. Someone was telling me Jenny did something on that. I didn't know. Yeah, I haven't been able to follow up much. As I said, I'm working on a project now that doesn't allow me much time to do much these days. I'm up and down. So it does not allow me much time to get much else done. But somebody was saying that, oh, Jenny did something. And I'll go back and look and see what is taking place there. Seeing one person saying, Ron need to go back to school. Well, Ron's supposed to go in school. We have to ask him what is his GPA next time he appear on television. We go ask him what is his GPA. He like to come and talk about the Imani. We should have put him in the Imani program. He might have sense now. Let me see what else here. The training was about job for the boys. Yeah, well, not necessarily job for the boys as in the people doing the training, but it could be a situation, job for the boys about who was providing the training. Yeah, that could be a situation. All right, and one listener here is asking, how can they pay it back? Well, probably government know how they could pay it back, because these young people now have to find $13,520.75. Yeah. So yeah, Karen said, Miss Simon said already, so we have to look for that Simon Says episode. Says who is behind the training. Yeah. Augustine, behave yourself. You said you could take the wawet and boil it and make soup for Deacon. And folks, the Prime Minister is out right now, together with the other Organization of Eastern Caribbean State Prime Ministers. He is supposed to be meeting the U.S. Secretary of State tomorrow, Marco Rubio. I know because Dr. Mitchell go up there, they'll be meeting the president himself. But these fellas and them, so they say, well, okay, yeah, them, all them from Dominica and St. Kitts, and they ain't bother them. Find them as paff. So Trump ain't bothering to meet with them. He say, little Marco is going to meet with them. He'll tell them exactly what we're going to do. I'm not going to be bothered to meet with those guys. So little Marco is going to be meeting, not Marco, I never call him little Marco. Little Marco, yes, he will be meeting with the heads of government of the Eastern Caribbean tomorrow. I have a feeling he'll be telling them some things they may not want to be hearing, but he'll be meeting with them tomorrow. We await to hear what comes out of that meeting, and as such, how it will affect us in the region, as a collective body, how that meeting is going to affect us in the region. how it's going to affect our economy if they are going to continue with that push to have countries in the region get rid of the Cuban medical specialists that are working in their territories, because there is significant impact to the healthcare system in the whole region if those are removed from the equation. Yeah, the healthcare system will basically collapse in small island states in the region if it is a case where you have the Cuban healthcare specialists having to go back. Yeah, or on the other end, if the US decides to play hardball, it will be a situation that not just that the rulers of these countries and their children and their wives and all their family members, the brother, sister, close family members, yeah, not just that all of them would lose their visas, green cards, all of these sort of thing, and not be able to enter the United States, but our individual territories may find a restriction on the number of visas that we may be able to get. So many people may find that they're going for visas and they're being turned back. And it may be to create pressure on a particular administration that the Trump administration sees as not doing things in the way that they would prefer it happens. So it's going to be very interesting to hear what takes place in that meeting tomorrow. And, you know, it's interesting because we have to ask ourselves again, I always ask this question, if you're going to send somebody, if Deacon had to go to Dubai instead, the Prime Minister, if he had to go to Dubai, as my bloke friend does say, where he had to go and spend hundreds of $1,000s to go in Dubai, if he had to go on one of his Dubai jaunts instead of going to meet Marco Rubio and so, who out of the government would he send? Is he going to send the individual that has show the tie on the side? Although the individual, if you hear the story behind it, they have a nice story for why they just show the tie there. You know? Yeah, it's a kind of anti-establishment thing from the days of GBSS or whatever. But are they going to send that individual who's going to go and talk to Marco? We are not going to bother with anything you come to tell us. Are you going to send an individual with that tonal quality, etc., to go there and speak on behalf of the Grenadian people, to negotiate on our behalf? Who in the cabinet are going to send? The lady that just tell you that they have boats and nets collecting seaweed, and the Coast Guard been collecting seaweed since the 1st of March outside of Marquis and Soubise, and anybody in Marquis and Soubise could tell you, through the taking the breaths of the stench, anyone down there could tell you that that is not the case, that they have not been doing that. Yet still the report they come and give. You see what they're not really interested to. They'll come and give, because even if they say a PS or something, give you that sort of thing. You can verify the information before you come and give it to the Grenadian people. You just come and read it. Something definitely got to be wrong with you. You can't be doing that kind of thing. It is unfair to the Grenadian people for these sort of things to continue happening to them. It is unfair. Yeah? So folks, we come to the end of tonight's program. It's been wonderful being here with you. And again, as we end, we must apologize once again for not being on for the majority of last week. I want to thank all of you that sent your birthday greetings last week Wednesday. Yes, last week Wednesday, outside of having the problems with the internet, it was also my birthnight, my birthday and my birthnight. I'd have loved to be on with you to receive my greetings direct, but I could not have been on. But I know Brother Gregory Bowen get his greetings down, and Natalie Sandy, I know that was your birthday, and Jason Skeet, I know that was your birthday as well, and they got their birthday greetings last week as well. So I want to thank all of you that took the time to send your birthday greetings to me. It was much appreciated. Some of you called, some of you messaged. Again, if you're trying to call me on my normal number, you're trying to call straight, you're not getting through. There's an issue with that phone, that when I see some all face-to-face, we will discuss. When I see you all face-to-face, we will discuss. Yeah, don't worry, it's still operational, but it's the SIM card itself have an issue that I had to get sorted out, right? So yes, folks, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being on with us tonight. And indeed, it has been a pleasure being here with you. And in whatever you say, do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. And we'll be back tomorrow night, God's willing, with more talking points. Hopefully, I will have a guest on with me. I'm not going to say who yet, because I have kind of like 2 or 3 choices of who can come on with me tomorrow night. So I've got to go over that and then make a final decision. So folks, once again, want to thank each and every one of you. Have a wonderful and safe night tonight.
I am giving